statement as the part of my output, but I will get the second statement as part of my output, and that's because only one statement, this one, is part of the if block. So if you run this, you select build and run, and here you have it. Only the second statement came out as the output. That's because C is an alphabet. That is part of the if condition, but the next statement is not part of the if condition because we have dropped the braces, the curly braces. We have dropped those. If, however, you are going to include those, let's say you are doing it like this, then both these statements are part of the if block. So I won't get any output in this case. If you try to run this, select build and run, you won't get anything. So here we did not get any statement as our output. So this is one of the things in how to use the if conditions. Now, as we were speaking, we used these double ampersand. This double ampersand means that two conditions are being combined with the AND operator. So the condition will be true if and only if all the conditions which are specified are true. That means if C is greater than or equal to A is true, and C is lesser than or equal to Z is also true. Only in that case the if condition will be true. Otherwise the if conditions will be false. If I add another clause, let's say if I make this as A, now C is greater than or equal to A and C is less than or equal to Z. Now I'm also adding and C is lesser than or equal to, let's say, 1. I have the first statement as true, I have the second statement as true because C is lesser than or equal to cap Z, but I have the third statement as false. So if you try to run this, let's try to run this. You select build and run from the build option. No output again. No output because one of the conditions was false. It only takes one of the conditions when you're combining with AND. If one of the conditions is false, the whole statement is going to be false. So this is about if and how we are going to combine it with the AND operation. Same way, we might want to check conditions which are true independently. Let's say if we want to have two conditions, my number should be either greater than 5 or it should be greater than let's say 2. So let us try to take this as our example. Let's say I have a number int num and we are requesting the user to enter it. Cout enter a number. Now here we do cin and we say num. Now this is our input line, so your program will actually wait here for the user to enter some input. Now we want to check whether this number entered is let's say lesser than 2 or it is greater than 5. In either of these conditions we want to execute our code. So we will check it like this: if our number is lesser than 2, this is one of the conditions. Now if I say and, if I use this and num is greater than 5, this thing is always going to be false. A number which is lesser than 2 cannot simultaneously be greater than 5. Condition is going to be false always. Now I also said that either num is less than 2 or num is greater than 5. I want to do something like this. Either it is lesser than 2 or it is greater than 5. So we are going to use the OR operator here. We'll say it like this. These are the two pipes. So we have if num is lesser than 2 or num is greater than 5. If either of these conditions are true, the if condition is going to be true. So we can write it like this. Cout number is either lesser than 2 or greater than 5. Now let me comment the earlier one out. Just comment this one, and let's try to run this. Alright, so we want to run this. Select build and run. Now once you select build and run, it will ask for you to enter a number. Let's say you enter a number, for example 1. Now when you entered 1, it said number is either lesser than 2 or greater than 5. That is because num lesser than 2, this condition was true. But num greater than 5, that condition was false. It doesn't matter. If one of the condition is true and you are combining them with OR, the whole condition is going to be true. So num lesser than 2, this condition is true. You are combining the other condition with OR. So the whole combined condition is going to be true. And that's why we got our output. Now let's try to run this again with some different input. We select build and run. Now we set the input as 4. Now when you do this, the first condition is going to be false. 4 is not lesser than 2. The second condition is also going to be false. 4 is not greater than 5. So you won't get anything as your output. When you enter this, no statement. Nothing was printed out. So this was the basic part of how to use if statements with the AND and OR. We'll talk about how to combine these equations, and we'll also talk about else statements in our next video. So stay tuned for that, and thanks for watching.